Hi, everyone. Today is June 4th. It's been a week since the last vlog. Over this week, some fruits we mentioned last week are turning red. This cluster of tomatoes, with the branch torn apart, survives the risk of fungal infection in the wound. This yellow tomato, with the species name brandywine yellow, will stay yellow after becoming fully mature. These smaller yellow tomatoes have the species name yellow pear. So far we have been talking about the good look aspect of these plants. What is much more interesting and attractive to me are those bad looking or ill-formed plants. In my hydroponic setup, I am free from tons of bugs, diseases, physiological problems hidden in the soil, which is overwhelming to me and maybe to many hobby gardeners as well. These lower leaves, with large yellow areas, are obviously unhealthy. They are the result of fungal colonization. We call it early blight. It may start from the seedling stage, since these fungal spores may come with seeds. Diluted baking soda, hydrogen peroxide are the typical approach to deal with these fungus at home. It's never a big concern to me because they only cause problems for these very old petioles, which are lower than the first set of fruit. All I do here is to remove them manually, and nothing else. The fungus spores usually lurk in soil. Though my garden is on top of red bricks, there is still trim debris, broken leaves, on the ground. It's better to be tidy. Wind blows the spores in the air. Our walking steps serve the same function of launching the spores in the air. The rest is a probability for the spores to establish their colony empires on the leaf surface. This also explains why we encourage dribble irrigation and try to avoid splash water on the soil. The droplet of water knocks the spores in the air. The second problem we discuss is the tomato blossom end rot. As the name implies, the bottom side of the fruit turns brown or black. I will get rid of the whole branch. There are two causes of this disease. First, it is the deficiency of calcium. Since the calcium concentration is determined, remember I am using hydroponics growing and the nutrient water solution is pre-made with known amount of nutrient and known portion of water? All other plants are not complaining about the calcium deficiency, we exclude this possibility. The next possible cause of blossom end rot is unstable watering. Since I ran into a mechanical failure a few weeks ago. When the tomato plant experiences extreme drought and resupply of water, the shrink and expansion of the fruit is likely to be the cause here. If we look for further evidence, we will find that branch with blossom end rot is the highest fruit, or say the youngest fruit. All lower ones, in another word, older ones, are free from the blossom end rot problem. Without enough proof, I assume the newly pollinated fruit may be more susceptible to the fluctuation of watering conditions. In the end, I tend to believe this is the result of that mechanical failure that happened weeks ago. The last problem in my garden is the curling leaves. That's an obvious concern. The upper side of the leaf has chlorophyll for photosynthesis. The bottom side of the leaf has stomas for breathing. There are multiple possible causes of such curling leaves. First one is a virus called tomato yellow leaf curl virus, TYLCV. It is an insect vectored virus when the insects get fed by the leaf or stem juice. I did notice the particular insect has the capability to carry such types of virus to be present in my garden. The quantity is fairly small, it took me a while to catch one. Of course, the presence of the insect doesn't always lead to the virus. Since the insect can carry the virus doesn't mean it carries the virus. I don't think the curling leaves in front of us are the result of such a virus. As a symptom of tomato yellow leaf curl virus, we will expect the younger leaves on the top to curl first. Whereas in our case, the younger leaves are healthy, and only older leaves are curling. As the name implies, we also expect the yellow-colored leaves, which are also not found here. One more symptom of such a virus is stunt plant growth. Now it is the beginning of June in Northern California. The plant is like 6 feet tall, aerial part or shoot system only. I mean the segment above soil. I am okay with its growth rate, and in fact it causes a big problem once it grows another half a foot in a week. What shall I do in the next 4 months of the normal tomato growing season? As a conclusion, I may exclude the possibility of the virus. In soil-based growing, herbicide residual causes tomato seedlings to have curling leaves. I don't need to use herbicide in my setup. Herbicide is in fact plant growth hormone. I don't think the herbicide residual from neighboring areas is able to be transferred in the airborne way. The last possibility of curling leaves is the watering condition, either insufficient or too much watering. This is the physiological reason. When the plant receives insufficient watering, the leaves will curl upward to reduce the area receiving the sunshine. As long as my hydroponic tank has water in it, I don't worry about lacking water supply. Then let's study the opposite side of the problem, overwatering. As a consequence, the little tiny rooms of soil supply air together with water and nutrients to the plant root. Too much watering means waterlogging. There is no room for air to exist in the soil. The plant will respond with curling leaves. If the situation is not remedied by us, root rot will happen. In hydroponics, we will have a shorter and yellow root system. I suspect the curling leaves are a result of waterlogging, so I need supporting evidence. At first, the waterlogging seems to be counterintuitive in my hydroponic setup. Since my hydroponic system is a pipe, the water is fed into the pipe from one end of this 24 feet pipe. The gravity will pull the water to move from that end to the other end, which is lower in height. The height is defined as the distance above the local mean sea level. How can the water stay in the pipe and cause waterlogging? In reality, the situation is a bit more complicated than the ideal condition. The plants in front of us are about 6 feet tall. The separation distance between plants in my home garden is a bit short. The root will reach its neighbor and grow on top of its neighbor's root. The buildup of roots inside the pipe will slow down the water flow speed in the pipe. To confirm this guess, I did a quick experiment. I start the water feeding and observe how long it takes the water to leave the pipe on the other end. Compared to the other pipes, the pipe closest to us now takes more than twice the time for the water to reach the end of exit. Let me explain why the pipes further away from us grow shorter plants, such as leafy green and eggplants. Right now we are facing south, having the plants being the tallest in the pipe closest to us, and the plants further away from us being younger, or shorter. Maximize the sunshine utilization in this setup and create a more comfortable environment for some cold season vegetables. In this video, I went through my study process of yellow leaf, rotten fruit, and curling leaf. Please correct me for anything I should have studied. Since we mentioned insects in this video, we may use the insects as the topic of the next video. Wish everyone happy gardening.